Hello and welcome for posterity. This is a Ask Me Anything on the VeeDao project, which is going to public mint in 3 hours. Super exciting. I'm going to be talking with the community, answering questions, dissolving any fear, uncertainty, or doubt related to the project for about an hour. And then I'll transition into a podcast recording of the daily download. Thank you for tuning in here at Wanna Be a V Friend. And let's fucking go. So, hey, Seneca, how are you? Nice Dino.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Hi, Jeremy. Super excited about this DAO. I've actually been looking into DAOs a lot. And my first question is kind of a basic one.
Yeah.
Do we expect instant sellout?
I don't expect anything.
Yeah, I know it's a hard question to answer. I'm just trying to see if I really need to.
No, it's not a hard question to answer. I mean, at this moment, we've sold. I'm refreshing right now. 1313 out of 10,000 in a 48-hour window, with about 1,200 on the whitelist. Of the 1,200 on the whitelist, considering that a handful did have technical issues, 344 minted. So I would say that's all right. That's a little less than I was hoping for. But, you know, when a whitelist is available, plenty of people sign on. And so, unfortunately, there may be people that took spots from people who actually wanted to mint. I know that within the server, there are at least 250 people that are ready to mint. If I had to guess, I don't think we're going to sell out. I don't think we're going to sell out instantly. And I would be surprised if we sold out by the end of the weekend, but it really is a bigger factor on the community. You know, like my focus now is on the people who are already holders. Like, I'm going to continue to bring awareness to the project and talk about the benefits and all of that. But I think if we don't sell out, then it will sell out from our actions, not necessarily from hype or FOMO, which I prefer. I personally prefer the slow burn. So I know
I would agree on that.
Yeah, I know that that's, like, you know, not what some people are expecting based on the hype drops that we've seen in the recent months. But I'm more concerned with taking care of the holders we have than finding new holders, and I'll let the project speak for itself.
Well, thank you so much for answering my question, Jeremy. I'm looking forward to this, and I'll go ahead and step down. Thank you.
I really appreciate that, and glad you're here. Hey, Eric, how are you?
I'm good, Jeremy. What's going on, dude?
I'm just speaking to the people. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see who's in this community. Like, obviously, the community expands beyond holders. You know, I have to always remind myself to empathize with people who are tuning into this project from places like India or Bangladesh, or you know where their monthly income is the price of one mint. You know, that's very real for people. Ethereum isn't cheap unless you got it much earlier. But nonetheless, you know, community being inclusive with standing, I'm excited to see who's in. I'm excited to see, like, right now, there are 344 wallets. So hopefully that's 344 people in. And I can't wait to see what they want to make of this thing.
Yeah, so I'm just looking through the Friends Lounge. There was obviously a few people just coming in, have just seen this for the first time, have some concerns, have some questions.
Yeah,
try and get them on stage if they want to come up and ask their questions.
Yeah, that's great. If not, you can just paste them into the voice channels text. Like, I've got one here from Schnuggles. The question is, what do you see as the main source of value for the project? What will the purpose of the Dow Vault be? So let's take them one at a time. I think the main source of value for the project is the community and access through whatever tokens we acquire. So I want to remind people that in a DAO situation, and each NFT is one vote of governance over the DAO. There are 10,000 votes. We require a 20% quorum to authorize a vote, and then majority will rule. So as we move forward, you know, we're going to work with the community board that's elected by holders to create a constitution to expand the reach of that voting power beyond just the vault, but for other initiatives. So we'll use a program called snapshot.org to vote and also propose votes. So the main source of value for the project is largely the community and the networking. I think we hear a lot about how you need a strong community to sustain a project for the long term. And we are, on top of putting a lot of thoughtfulness into our artwork and hoping that alone sustains value for people, we are very much a community-centric project. And we have the benefit of being inspired and invented by a person in Gary Vaynerchuk, who gives us a sort of sense of shared values that we can use to navigate how we build, day in and day out, brick by brick. So I hope that answers your question. And it may sound amorphous, but within the project, there are extremely talented artists, for example, some that are perhaps ready to launch a project, but need a little startup capital. We could provide that should the DAO approve in exchange for either some points of their revenue or a buyback of tokens or whatever that may be. The opportunities are certainly limitless, and the benefit that we have in strong founders who have been in the space is a centralized leadership to guide it. Let's say we get to half ownership eventually, we've got 5,000 cooks in the room. That's not inherently productive, right, or effective. So that's the importance of strong leadership in the genesis, and also the community board that is going to be the go-between for the larger community and the admin that is running operations, building collaborations. I mean, just look at who already is not just kind of co-signing the project, but completely collaborating. Dapper Dinos, Flower Girls, Ethereum Towers, even the Grills Gang. We've got a lot of reach, and by bringing in holders, we're only going to be expanding that reach. So I think that's a significant value proposition. As for the purpose of the Dow Vault, it's interesting the way you phrase that question. I mean, the purpose of the Dow Vault is to be a store of value for mutual assets, right? And it will be up to the holders when, let's say we acquire VeeFriends and they do a 5x, or even on the way they're doing a 3x to determine if we want to sell and take profit. Those profits are returned to the vault, and then the holders get to determine how those profits are either spent, reinvested into other NFT projects, or dedicated to revenue generation. All of that is within the purpose. The purpose is to facilitate the access of high quality digital assets to individuals who would otherwise not have access to them. I think that's the most succinct way I can say it. And if you have a follow-up question, just drop it in the chat. Hey, Alfred, welcome up.
Hi, this is Alfred.
Hey, I'm Jeremy. I'm good.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just have a quick question. So the DAO and the Vault, there's no direct correlation between the value of the NFT and the value of the collaborated vault. Is that right?
That's correct.
Would there be a token based upon the value of the community vault?
No.
Okay.
And the reason for that is strictly a liability and a legal framework issue. So we discussed that at the earliest days. We were even talking about it on day one, but we walked it back intentionally because there's not a legal framework for that we can feel is comfortably advisable. We are developing a staking contract, which will provide a utility token for this ecosystem, but we will not be providing liquidity for it tied to ETH or any other liquid asset. And as soon as you create an offering from a centralized organization that confers ownership, you have become a unregistered security. And we don't want to become a registered security because that would mean we can't trade on the blockchain. We can, but the SEC has a statute of limitation of 10 years. So if we were to start doing that without legal go ahead, then the SEC would have 10 years to determine how it would want to view those actions and enforce whatever laws it has in place or pass new laws to enforce upon those actions. And so for that reason, we have created a art offering that allows governance over the vault, but it doesn't confer ownership, and we don't plan on releasing a fractionalized representation of the vault to holders.
Got it. No, you did mention some type of utility token.
Yeah.
Or a utility token equals a utility token, right?
Right.
Okay. So that may be something that's more indirect, that would provide some type of value, but not a monetized value.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And that,
totally
that much is already in development. It's actually nearly completed, but it is step 3 in the roadmap, and we are about to take step 1. So we're going to be discussing that and getting input on the holders on how they want that to be executed before we start making promises about what it will or won't be.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for clarifying that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your
Great
time.
question. And I'm sure one that many have. So thank you.
Thank you.
Truckee, let's go to you, and then we'll go to Chalita.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
First time using my phone on the stage, so I wasn't sure.
Nice.
Woke up this morning and had a good question. Well, I thought it was a good question. It might have been answered already.
Okay.
But for example, say that the DAO picked up, I'm just throwing out random numbers, 10 VeeFriends.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the VeeFriend raffles or something like that, the DAO acquired, like the Halloween drop one.
Mm-hmm.
Would that go back into the DAO, or would that be raffled off to the owners?
That would go back to the DAO.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my question.
Absolutely. And I just want to make a semantical distinction. The utility, or rather the access from VeeFriend tokens to a 10 VCon will not be raffled necessarily, and however it is, it won't be addressed as a raffle. Like, nobody should be looking at their NFT as a raffle ticket. Technically raffles are illegal, and the reason for that is because you're basically infringing on the rights of the lottery, where you can only legally conduct a raffle if every single person who gets a raffle ticket gets something in return. So that's just on a semantical issue. We've discussed that, how great would it be for someone to buy a single 0.05 mint and then walk away with a ticket to VCon, but we haven't confirmed the process for distributing that access. And I think it's important that the holders weigh in on that. For example, not my intuition, but my gut reaction was, well, it should definitely go to somebody who doesn't have a VeeFriend, right? Somebody who doesn't have access to VCon. But then Eric astutely pointed out that's not fair. It's just strictly not fair. What about the person who does have a VeeFriend but wants a ticket for their partner or their best friend or whatever that might be? So I think it may be better to do like an application-based thing, and either through the community board or through some more objective means that I think would be difficult to manage. But, like I said, it's not confirmed yet. But, it would, if we are going to do it in a randomized fashion, it would at least be better to randomize it amongst those people who know they can go to VCon, as opposed to just everybody, right? Those are just some of my thoughts on that specific example.
I understand verbiage is very important right now for everything too. So
yeah. But thank you.
I appreciate having the question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Chalita, what is your PFP? That's a very special dino. Chalita, if you're talking, you're currently muted.
All right. Sorry about that. That was the first time I've ever talked on one of these stages on Discord. I was saying that it's a Metasaur. They've done sort of something similar where they said they are not associated with Bored Apes Yacht Club. but a Bored Ape Yacht Club owner created these. Blah blah blah. There's a whole story behind that.
Okay.
And, they did all right.
Nice.
Yeah. So they gave whitelist to Bored Apes and all that, and all of them came into the project and blah blah blah. So my question really is a couple of questions I have. Is one is contingency. If you don't mint everything, you don't have say the money to buy blue chip NFTs. What is the contingency? What would happen to this project if it does not meet its goal of selling out?
Sure. So selling out to me is not a goal; it's an inevitability. It doesn't matter to me if it happens tonight, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. A project selling out instantly, in my view, and from projects I've seen, is not an indicator of its success or its value. As for the strategy and the tactic and the objective, it remains the same. If we were to go to public mint in 3 hours and not a single person minted, we still have a war chest to buy blue chip NFTs. It's admittedly smaller than we'd like it to be, and smaller than the target of a full sellout, but our objective would remain the same, and then we would build value for the holders, and then we would allow the project to speak for itself, and over time it would sell.
Okay, that makes sense. Momentum comes in different ways. Sometimes the projects are overly hyped, and the momentum is there, and they sell out, and it doesn't go anywhere. So I do agree with that. My second concern is on the DAO and the ownership of the NFTs, because we are not a security as you outlined. We're not going to be. And so the ownership of these do retain with you guys. You guys technically, I know the DAO owns the wall and all that, but as administrators, legally, you guys are the owners of these blue chips. Full stop. There's no other way around that, right? So how much trust do we have to have in you guys to not, build up this war chest with our money? Because technically we're investing in you guys in the project, and not really run off with it, but benefit from the ownership of these tokens behind the scenes without us even knowing that was the case.
Sure.
That happens a bit in this type of scene, and you guys do own this. So if the project wasn't going to work and you guys wanted to walk away, you guys can split the NFTs between you guys, and legally those are yours. We have no recourse. We're legally only buying art, and we're funding the DAO, and then you guys are giving us some perks in return for that. That's how this legally works, right? If you're doing raffles or giveaways, you would have to open up to the public, because there's no purchase required. Say you run the lottery law, by the way, is that has to be open up to the public, and has to be a form. Anybody can apply for it. Anybody can benefit, right?
Sure. So yeah, that's not entirely accurate, because the three of us don't actually have a majority of signatures on the wallet. When we begin our process of sweeping the VeeFriends floor and moving on to whatever projects we think hold long-term value, there will be the three of us and 4 community signers. So the wallet doesn't belong to us in that regard. And we wouldn't have majority power to rug if we wanted to, or do what you suggested.
So would the community owners be rotating?
A few people have suggested that, and I think that that's a great idea. It's not something that we've committed to, but it's been brought up, and I see no harm in doing that.
Okay, because it does reassure that it is community people. But I mean, if you guys, 7 of you guys collectively say, hey, we have $10 million, let's split it 7 ways. It's very hard for people to say no to that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, to your first question, like how much trust do you have to have in us? A ton, the most.
So just, I don't want to take any more time, but one more thing.
No, take all the time you need.
Is that there is vague, it does seem a little incomplete. This is very quickly, you guys open up the Discord, the art's already done. You guys are selling within days of the community being built. So that does bring up a little red flag. So I think a little bit more details on the utility on sharing these assets within the vault and how the control is going to work. I've read through the pins and everything else. There's stuff there, but I wish there was more details, like a medium or a white paper on what this entails, right? Like how those things will be controlled, because those things you would think would have been thought of prior to kicking off the sale, right? Because this is what you're selling, is that utility of access and the benefits of us owning these blue chips as a collective, and also the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a point well taken. And there are some documents that we're working on that aren't completed and haven't been published. And again, it comes back to that trust. It comes back to docs donors. It comes back to we have come together to take advantage of a very special moment in the VeeFriends market in particular, and using that as an opportunity to bring a community into that sort of higher echelon of blue chip NFTs market. The point is taken. I agree that, you know, you could read the entirety of the DAO FAQ mission statement and roadmap and still have a ton of really valid questions. And a lot of them have been answered in these AMAs, which haven't been posted. They've been recorded, but to be completely honest with you, I've been working too hard, too long, and not making time to do that. In my YouTube, I have 3 unlisted AMAs that I just haven't posted. And, you know, part of the reason for that is I didn't have time to review them, and I wanted to make sure that there was nothing inaccurate being shared. But more so than that, I don't expect people to take an hour to listen to an AMA to find their answer. And I want to create those like high value, condensed, white paper type, medium content assets. And I have not. So that's my failing. And it's why I take extra time to do these AMAs. But I also know that there are plenty of projects who release their roadmap after the fact. And I have no concern that we will do that, especially as we see what is needed and asked for by the community.
All right, that's fair. Thanks for answering my questions, and I wish you guys all success.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being here. Hi, Indigo. Welcome to the show. Indigo, you may have push to talk on. I'm not hearing you right now. I see a DM from you. Hold on, let me check it. Okay, he's dealing with some technical issues. That's not a problem. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? Let me go ahead and check the voice channels text. I see a ping there. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, I know it was hard to hear, Chalita. Question, are there any intentions for future projects, mints, or airdrops to holders? Yes. DJLDC asks, are there intentions for future projects, mints, or other airdrops to token holders? Absolutely yes. And we're not talking about them because it's an under promise, over deliver situation. But we have all of the information on the blockchain. We know who did the pre-mint. We know who minted during public. We know who bought on secondary. And we'd like to do mainnet drops. I know that, you know, it's much easier and more cost effective to do a Polygon drop. And some of that we will be doing as initiatives among the admin, but we also want to, you know, workshop the art and the utility of any future drops through the community. Not to mention, we've been able to sort of confer with some really well-respected artists in the space and are talking about how to, you know, some of them have been so kind as to contribute an art piece that's actually going to be minted in the collection, such as Flower Girls and Dapper Dinos. But yeah, we're really looking forward to generating more art. Great question. Thank you. Nice. DJ thumbs up his or their comment. I love that. Answered. Asked and answered. I'm looking for hands. In the meantime, I am reading messages, DMs and such. I've got a question that is, I'm curious in particular with this one, what it would be like to have one friend or multiple, if that makes sense. I don't see them here in the voice chat, but that's okay. So having more than one friend entitles you to more than one vote. That is serious. That is in essence the basics answer to that question. Beyond that, you have better odds at getting a different token, a rarer token. You know, there's a large variety within the collection. For those who aren't aware, it's a 10,000 token collection. The first 9,000 are word based. They're words that are featured in Gary's content or in his VeeFriends collection with a series of rarity through different backgrounds and art. Then the remaining 10% of the collection, 1,000 tokens, is our just art category. You know, if you were going to compare it to VeeFriends, we're not calling it that for respect of the IP and whatnot, but we've created a suite of homages to Gary's content, to Gary himself, to people on the team, to VeeFriends, to concepts and beyond. And those are more limited in the collection and also have some degree of rarity. So you have a better, so back to the question of what is the benefit of having multiple friends? Well, you have a better chance of that rarity. The other benefit is if the market does see value in this token, selling your friend NFT is going to be your primary liquidity option in terms of engaging with this project. Like, to be clear, this is an art project that provides governance over the DAO. And there are no payouts or dividends that are planned from profits that go back to the vault by buying and selling NFTs. You know, most of what we're going to be doing is going to be long-term purchasing, but if the DAO wants to propose and approve to sell a token that has accrued in value, those profits will go back to the DAO, and the DAO will determine how to use those profits. So if you are wanting liquidity, you will need to sell your token. There's or sell an airdrop that may have some value. But I just want to be clear that this is an art-based offering.
I have hopefully now sorted my tech issues. I'm going green at least.
You have solved that issue. Hi, Indigo.
Oh, hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I never did get an answer. Are you okay with Jezza, or should I stick with Jeremy?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay, Jezza it is, just because why the heck not?
Yeah, why not?
So, a couple of questions I had with relation to what are we referring to the nominated community members as, like trustees or
the community board? The board. Community board.
Okay. So, first question I had is why only limit it to 7? We're in theory going to be looking at having like 3,000 odd people. If the 10,000 ownership conforms to your standard project distribution, there's usually somewhere between 2 and 5 odd thousand people who get ownership, right? So even with a rotation, a representation by 4, and the whole other big thing is what, not that I have this concern, but what Chilata was saying about, oh, well, you know, splitting it 7 ways is still quite a lot of money, and then you can leg it.
Sure.
Is there any particular reason we're using the figure of 4 rather than, you know, something slightly larger, say 10 or 15?
Part of it is a management issue and flexibility, or rather maybe reflexibility.
Here's something I found on the web.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, shut up.
Alexa,
please stop.
Excellent.
I'm so sorry.
Alexa Bob. I love it.
That's perfect.
That was great. So Indigo, there's no reason why we can't do that, right? We can certainly determine to have a larger community on the signers. What I mean in terms of reflexivity is you want to always have a majority of signers required for transactions. And within the wallet, the Gnosis Safe smart contract can assign a different number of signers required for different actions. So for example, of 7, you can say you need 5 to engage in a purchase, or you need 3 or 4 or 2 or all 7 to engage in adding or removing of any signatures. So, you know, in the event of a cycling signer, we can add.
You definitely don't want big numbers, because that's then going to be a nightmare to get everyone together to do the cycling. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about definitely. It just really depends on people's ability to be there, right? Because let's say we have 20 signers on the wallet. Well, if we leave the number of signers required for a purchase to 5, then a 25% cohort of the signers can go off and spend the money, you know, and like, obviously we want to, this sort of goes back to what Cholita was getting to. It's like, we want to be able to have trust in each other, but just like in the NFT space, the motto that I go by is don't trust, verify. You know, you want to plan for the worst case scenario, in the same way that like once all this is engaged, like there's going to need to be protocols in place in the event of the untimely death of the signers on that wallet. You know, nobody wants to go there in terms of thinking, and, you know, knock on wood, good health.
You got to plan for the future. And you don't want someone dropping dead and then suddenly we don't have the ability to deal with however many million in vault contents that we've got. You got to have contingency plans. That's sensible.
Exactly. There has to be a contingency. So the more people you add to the wallet, the more complicated that gets. And I think it's more efficient to cycle through instead of just pile on. But, you know, that can be an ongoing conversation.
No, that absolutely makes sense. I mean, I guess it's that thing of finding the balance between cycling and the number involved. But no, that absolutely makes sense to me. I did a one follow-up question, which could have been the first question, to be honest, which is, you guys have got community nominations open already. Now, call me completely crazy, but I do feel like perhaps the people who are A, in these positions, and B, voting for these positions would maybe be the ones holding the NFTs.
Could or should?
Should.
Oh, absolutely.
100% should.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at the moment, there's nothing to stop someone who doesn't hold the token from nominating someone, because we don't have a verified role in the server, which we'll probably implement around the time of reveal or right after. But nobody is going to be voting on these, except on who these people are, except through Snapshot, in which case you will need to be holding the token. So, you know, admittedly,
so you're just
it's not
names for a list that people will subsequently vote on later.
Right. It's admittedly not a perfect system, because, you know, there are people in the server who are just here for the good vibes and they're not planning to mint, or they can't mint, and they've gone in and nominated folks. I know of a few offhand, but they won't be making the decision. And we are just trying to collect names of people who have a trusted reputation within the community.
Right.
And I think we're achieving that really well. I mean, if you scroll that channel, you see a lot of.
I think VeeDizzle is going to end up on the board. Yes.
If she wants to, I'm pretty sure she's got a spot.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Definitely a good board member. We love VeeDiz. Sorry, I will leave you in peace until I have another question in 5 minutes.
Oh, it's no problem.
Gary's been nominated quite a few times too, but I don't think he's going to take that position.
Yeah. Cholita has a comment that you should have a timeline on signers, 24 hours to sign. If they don't sign, they forfeit their signature, and the majority at the deadline decides. That's a good suggestion. The smart contract doesn't really work that way unless you were to remove that person's signature. And even then, I believe that a transaction that's already in the queue would be under the limitations of the previous setting and not the new setting. So like if you engage a transaction that requires 5 signatures, and after 24 hours, only 4 people have signed, so you're going to remove the people who haven't, then your following signature will require, let's say you change it, that you require 4 now. Your following transaction will require 4, but your previous one will still require 5. Jake, this is a great question. Will non-token holders be able to participate in book game channels and such? My feeling is yes. I don't see any harm in that until harm is shown. I don't personally do well with gating access where that gate is financial. I think there are plenty of things that we can do driving value to holders, but when it's a conversation around book games, which is, you know, a public project, I don't feel really good about gating that. Now, if we have like an internal strategy that we don't want shared, that becomes a different question. I don't know, Eric, do you want to weigh in on this? I don't feel good about saying that community members that don't have tokens can't participate in that conversation, or like,
could I ask for people really confused, what the heck is book games? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come back to that.
So, in my opinion, I think book games is going to stay server wide, whether you are a holder or not.
Yeah.
We may also have a book games channel just for holders. Book games, I'm sure, is going to be played by the holders as a whole.
Yeah.
So
I think if we have a holder only book game channel, it'll be about what the DAO does for book games. You know, there's been a lot of speculation, largely from me, about if you can win a VeeFriends version 1 by playing the book games, and how does that happen? Considering that Gary said you can, and let me take a step back and answer Indigo's question. Book games is a companion collection of NFTs of a supply surpassing 100,000 tokens that was minted over the course of, that was rather pre-minted over the course of 24 hours back in August with the release of Gary's latest book, 12 and a half, leveraging emotional ingredients for business success. So this book is out, and you were able to sort of open mint these tokens for every 12 books that you pre-ordered in that 24-hour window. Many of us in this room have dozens of books either in our house or on the way because we purchased multiple tokens. The information around that was really secretive for a while, and in the last 6 weeks it's been deemed the book games, and Gary's been very clear that games are meant to be played forever and that there will be multiple games that roll out over time. In an AMA, he said that you can stack the tokens to create what you want. He also said you can win anything in book games, and that if you play book games right, you can turn back time. So this has led me to believe that a VeeFriends version 1 is actually on the table, that with the right set of tokens or burning or whatever, whatever sort of game board they give us, either in one or multiple games, you can actually get a VeeFriend by playing this game. Now, logic would suggest that VeeFriend is going to be a Go VeeFriend. It's not just going to be anyone. It's going to be Gary originally owned. Gary does, to my knowledge, own 2 non-Go VeeFriends. He minted a rare turnt tick during the auction. And when someone had their token stolen, he bought, I think it was a lava patient panda on the floor. I don't know if he gave that back to the owner, the previous owner or whatnot, but assuming he has those 2 tokens, he could put those up, but it's more likely he'll put a Go out there. So let's say the prize is like the top of the top. It's like a spectacular Go VeeFriend. Okay, the floor price on a spectacular Go right now is in the range of 40 to 50 ETH, probably. I don't know offhand, and I can take a look really quick. It won't take me that long, but let's just like go with the possibility here. So I'm going to filter for rarity, spectaculars, and goes. So whoa. People who have these spectacular Goes have them listed properly. The floor on a spectacular Go right now is 200 ETH, 195.55 ETH. There are, I want to say there's like 108 of them. There's not a lot. The spectacular Go is the grail of the VeeFriends collection. And Gary's given them a lot of them away over the months, but he still holds about 50. Last I checked was 55, but that was a while ago.
Do they actually sell?
The last sale of a spectacular Go was a couple months ago, and it was for 105 ETH. So some recent sales include 80, 105, 100, 55, although that was a while ago. Some of these are much older. They don't trade that much. But knowing that somewhere between 80 to 100 ETH, these actually sell, and that they're the grail of the collection that we are most interested in, if that turns out to be the case, and the collection releases and we're told there's a go on the table, well, then it would seem maybe opportunistic wise or otherwise to spend like 50 ETH on book games tokens. If like, and then, the question would have to become like, if like, I guess how there would have to be a conversation within the chat, and then we would have to frame the vote very specifically. But like, if you could get a Go token spectacular for 50 ETH, would you? So anyway, that was all a bunch of hypotheticals. I brought that up because whatever our strategy is as a DAO, that we can keep behind closed doors for holders in a dedicated channel. But otherwise, for like general access, like all the alpha that I get from being, not just knee deep, but like up to my neck in VeeFriends day in and day out, I am going to bring to this DAO, but I'm also going to be giving it to my Instagram community, to my Twitter community, and to the rest of the server. And I have no interest in putting a paywall behind my content. So I hope that answers your question. I think I saw you deafened right at the end there, which is fine. Oh, are we getting a gas spike? That's a bummer. You are welcome. And I am recording this, so I will be reposting it. Don't you fret. Yeah, gas is up to 155. If you waited to do your pre-sale, I would just keep waiting. You're welcome. Indigo's having technical difficulties, but he said thank you. Okay, coming back. I don't see any hands raised. So, hey, CJ, welcome to the stage.
What's up?
Hey, welcome back. We missed you.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Did I miss anything? Did I miss much?
Yeah, you missed about 300 mints, and a lot of excitement here with Dapper Dinos joining the fold. And
yeah, I saw that. I just saw their art.
Yeah, the art looks amazing, right? We are gonna have to change the VeeFriend on the t-shirt. It's not 100% confirmed. They're relaying with Dave about that. But right. I think more than likely we won't be able to use that VeeFriend image, but otherwise it's still just so good.
Yeah, absolutely incredible piece by Chris and his team.
Yeah,
and I don't know if Chris is actually in here. I don't know if he wants to come up and.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, he is. Please bring him up. Oh my
shout
God.
out to Chris who's in the audience. Chris, I'm gonna invite you up if you're not able to speak. I understand. With a blue chip in the works and a family, I don't blame you.
I just saw the piece that doesn't have it on there. I love the little blueberries on top going in a circle.
I know, the blueberry halo. It's super fun. Hey Chris, thanks for joining us.
I've got like 5 minutes. I was just making some dinner with the kids, but and my other one is playing Fortnite. So we're like, I'm listening to you guys, and she's playing Fortnite.
Nice.
But I heard it's making a comeback.
Yeah, she's 9, and that's her favorite thing to do.
Huh.
But yeah, I just we just got confirmation about the VeeFriend too. It's got to come off. I don't know if you saw. I sent the new one over.
I see it now. Yeah, it's totally fine. I mean, it makes sense. We've been relaying with them a lot about usage of their taking inspiration from their IP, and generally it's better for us to err on the side of caution. And then who knows? Maybe in 5 years they'll authorize an official partnership, and we can do some like full-on derivatives. It's just got to be patient.
Yeah, they were super generous with just letting us put it on there to begin with as like a little Easter egg. So
yeah, I actually have one.
Grateful for that. Oh yeah,
yeah. I have a white T-shirt, Dino T-shirt, T-Rex. I forget the property name, but yeah, with the T-Rex on there.
Very cool.
I have the sticker. I got my sticker mailed to me from Original Mint because I'm also OG.
Nice.
Wait, you have one of the logo stickers like mailed out from Velociraptor?
The one that has the blue with the Dino with the bone going through the head with the X on the eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, my kids keep trying to steal it to put it on their laptops. I told them no.
Those are probably going to make a comeback at some point. We're trying to figure out like the best way to distribute them. The first round when we were setting everything up, Velociraptor, he sent everything out manually. Like he wrote everyone's address out and sent them to everyone, which was
the envelope
which was good at the beginning, but now there's like a lot of people in the Discord.
Yeah, you guys had an incredible launch. I know I have a bunch of those stickers. I'm still holding my first OG Dino.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, Mark's got the special egg, you know, the purple one?
Oh yeah, the Karma egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of each. I've got the VeeFriend t-shirt and I've got the Karma Dino.
Nice.
I saw somebody hand raised.
How do you guys feel about the mint tonight? Are you nervous or you getting excited? How are you feeling about? I just heard gas spike to like 150 something, but
yeah, hopefully it comes back down closer to 8. I'm definitely nervous and excited. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah, I was also originally excited, and then I actually had conversations with Jeremy and Eric, and then I realized that this is a long-term play. It's not like it's a little different than most other projects because most other projects they're art projects versus we're a DAO. Most DAOs, the art doesn't really matter. So we actually sort of made a mini project with the DAO, and we can still execute whether we quarter sell out, half sell out, or full sellout. So our expectations are actually not to sell out. If it does, we're super stoked and excited, but we're still able to execute and move as a DAO and purchase NFTs regardless on how we function, you know, as a sellout or not.
You know, we might need to consider picking up this GOAT VeeFriends mini drop. Gary keeps dropping hints about it, and I don't know why. Like this GOAT's arrival in the creature world, he clearly knows something that we don't know. He just posted, he said, "I'll make this simple. If you can afford it, you should, all caps, heavily consider owning one of these." It feels like when we sweep, we should pick one up.
Gift code?
No,
the GOAT creature collab.
Yeah, the GOAT enters the creature world.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think it's also creating value, but yeah, I also agree with it because it's a great piece just in itself.
Totally.
I think I'm past my tech. Yes, I appear to be past my tech issues. So, guys, can I ask a Gary V and VeeFriend noob question?
Sure.
Because, excuse me, sorry. I'm someone who very explicitly avoids influencers and people who tell you what to think because I like to make my own mind up. I like to go and find my own things, investigate my own things, and then decide if I like them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that was how I found Flower Girls, and that's why I was in Flower Girls, you know, a month and a half before Gary pumped it. Obviously, I've seen his effect and know that he very clearly has a massive following.
Uh-huh.
But why is this the be-all and end-all? Because all you guys talk about is the utility that you're going to get from those particular tokens. And there are so many other projects. What is it about VeeFriends and Gary V that has you guys? Because I know you guys are holders, right? So that's great, but I'm not a holder. I've never encountered it outside of when Gary turned up in Flower Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this the be-all and end-all?
Yeah, this is a great question, and I appreciate the opportunity to answer it because it'll allow me to clarify a couple of things. Number one, Gary is not the be-all end-all. Full stop. Gary Vaynerchuk is a remarkable human being with a heart larger than any I've encountered, with a skill set for creating value and generating business that is unrivaled by is rivaled by maybe half a dozen people on the planet. So that's my personal opinion, and I respect him for what he's built. But that doesn't make him a god. He's not the be all end all. He's not beyond critique. He makes mistakes. So I feel like the phrase be all end all suggests that we want nothing more than to be VeeFriends, and that's not our intention. That being said, the reason that I personally invested in VeeFriends is because I believe what I said. I think so highly of Gary, and a lot of that has to do with his philosophy on value. So it sounds like you're not super familiar, and others may not be as well. That I want to just pause for a second. I realize that I'm about to. Oh, that's so funny. I was about to say I'm about to go on a rant, and Chris needs to go in a second, and he just let himself out. So thanks for being up here, Chris. Gary's philosophy on value is give, then ask. So he operates in a way in which he provides value up front, expects nothing in return, and when the time comes that he wants something from his team, his audience, his partners, whatever, he asks without expectation. And that paired with the perspectives on self-awareness and patience that he gifted me in my mid-20s changed my life. Literally changed my life. Not because he told me what to think, but because he gave me an opportunity to think differently for myself. So Gary is not an influencer because he set out to be. Gary's an influencer because he holds influence. You know, I don't align with people who think influencer is a bad word. I think if anything, it's just a little misunderstood. And there are certainly bad actors in that space. But Gary is not a motivational speaker because he motivates people. Gary is not an influencer just because he holds influence. You know, there's the action, and then there's the conception. So I think that's something to be acknowledged. And just to go a step further for you to maybe understand how someone like that could change a life, and for context of the room to just know me a little bit better. Gary, he talks a lot about regret. He talks a lot about how in his earliest childhood days that he would spend a lot of time talking to older people, and that gave him a certain sense and perspective on the value of taking advantage of life. And, you know, you can do with that knowledge what you will, but one thing he was putting out a lot in 2017, 2018 was go get perspective about how early you are in your life and how much more you have to learn by going to old folks' homes and just volunteering for a day and ask them about their life. And 9 out of 10 people will start with, I wish, and they hold on to regret. And when telling about what they've done, they start with, I wish. And I think that's a very powerful message. And I know that there are many of us in the community who have benefited from hearing it. But the benefit of being in Gary Vee's community is not watching the content, it's doing something about it. And when I was, I was in my mid-20s, and my grandmother had passed away 3 years prior. I had been like talking about, I was gonna go see my grandfather in his old age. He was older, he was beyond 90 at this point, and I didn't get to see my grandmother much before she passed away, and I regret that. And so I was talking about, like, I really need to go do that, and it was another one of Gary's content talking about this message I just described that pushed me to think, I can turn down this next job, I can take a break. And I took 3 weeks off from my performing career to do absolutely nothing and sit in my grandfather's home in Flint, Michigan. And I
am really appreciating your story, and I really, really hate to interrupt it.
It's fine.
But that is talking from someone who was in a position to do that. I don't have that option. I've got a wife and a son to support. I do not have the option of chucking in my day job. I am working, 36-hour days and sleeping sort of 6 hours and working a full-time job and living a full-time life in NFT land.
Sure.
I'm motivated. I'm motivated. I am off my butt and trying my best to make a better life for me and the people around me.
Great.
But I don't have the option to just take a month and do that. That would be it. I would be out on the street.
Yeah, most people don't. And if you're happy and you don't need a kick in the butt, then you don't need to watch Gary's content. Gary often says his goal is for you to stop watching his content so you start implementing the things that he's talking about. I'm just sharing for you the reason why before no, it's no problem. You can interrupt me again. I'm just sharing for you and for everyone to have context on why I'm this maniac who reports on VeeFriends every day. Yes, I was excited about VeeFriends. Yes, the community and their welcoming energy and their generosity kept me around. Yes, the prospect of working for Gary someday and the attention that I was getting through making content has made it easier. But I'm not here because VeeFriends was such a gestalt that I was like, I have to dedicate my life to this. I'm here because I've received so much outsized value from Gary over the last 6 years that this feels like the least I can do to share information about his content. And then it just so happened to lead me to making some lifelong friendships and having a lot of fun. So yeah, most people aren't in a position to take 3 weeks off work. I was an independent artist working in theater and film, and I did, and I'm glad I did because my grandfather was perplexed. He was very confused why I was in Michigan doing nothing, asking me, don't I have something to do? Trying to explain to him, I'm just here to see you. And sort of like day by day, prying out more stories about his war days and his experience in his life. And he passed away just 4 or 5 months later. So like, especially after he passed, like the perspective on taking that action had a really big impact on me. And so Gary is not the be all end all, but he's a very special leader. And I think he's created a project with long-term value. And so that's why I'm here.
That definitely clears up a lot of my questions about why you have so much faith in him, but that doesn't as much cover my core question of well, you've seen me in chat. I'm all about let's do stuff with the community, let's wield our influence, let's be an alpha group, and we could buy into new projects and all this that and the other jazz. I'm a man bubbling over with ideas as much as some of them are insane.
Sure.
So we're sweeping the VeeFriends floor. I have no idea what percentage of the vault is intended to be used for that, but that's the only project that I've heard you guys talk about specifically. What else is it that is on your mind that we're targeting? Because okay, great, I'm sold. VeeFriends makes perfect sense as part of the vault, but we don't want a vault containing just VeeFriends because that's not really a vault. That's just a VeeFriends collection, right?
Yeah, it's both. Sure, it's both.
But you see what I mean. Like, if we're looking for something that's going to provide a whole bunch of different utilities and therefore provide value, VeeFriends have one set of utilities that they're going to bring. It's going to be the utilities that come with VeeFriends. If we are not looking at branching out and going beyond that, it's very much just about who's going to be getting the direct benefits from sort of those VeeFriends invites. Like, it doesn't give us a bigger pool to work with that's going to increase the value of both this project, the NFTs we're holding, and the vault itself. I'm totally like with VeeFriends as one of the things we're holding, but what about Basic? What about Macy? What about, I'm assuming we're going to be buying some Flower Girls. They're not massively valuable right now, but we all on that side, and certainly Gary seems to think that they will be. Like, there must be something more than VeeFriends that you guys have got your eye on. What are you looking at otherwise?
Absolutely.
Can I jump in here?
Yes.
Thanks. So if you look at the website, if you look at the mission statement or FAQ or roadmap or all the information that's there, originally we are a VeeDao, It's VeeDao because we are a VeeFriends community and we believe in VeeFriends. But we're very clear that we're not just exclusively going to be VeeFriends, and we're very clear that we are going to be interested in other blue chip NFTs, apes, punks, flower girls, Dapper dinos, drops, grills, whatever has value. But the reality is, Indigo, is that once this machine launches, we have no control. We have a vision. The DAO is going to be the one deciding everything. If the DAO decides to say, okay, let's take our money and, stake it in NFT FI and give out 80 loans at 80% interest with collateralized NFTs, then that's what we're going to do. So it's not our vision. Our vision doesn't matter anymore. We have a vision and we want, but we're going to have a community board representing the community, and we're going to have us, and we're going to make proposals, but we don't decide what happens.
You certainly do have a degree of influence, though. As the people who set up the DAO, your opinion is always going to carry more weight than, say, mine or any other holder, unless, Gary himself decides to buy in. You guys are always going to be the ones who started this. Your voices will always have. If you recommend a thing, there is always going to be a certain amount of the community that will just go, yes, because they said it,
I hear that, but at the same time, I'm a big diversified type of person. I don't just hold only of one thing. If anyone who knows me, I own across the board. I'm a Stoner Cats guy. I'm a Pac fan. I'm, Matrix NFTs. I like to diversify. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. So I'm all for that. But the reason we're getting a community board is because it's literally going to be split. It's not like, oh, we're a majority and we brought one person on to pacify everyone. We did this without anyone even asking, because we had the foresight to know that this is going to be a question that people are going to have, and that's why we have the channel for people to recommend people to be on that board, and people will go to that separate chat, which eventually we'll have, and they're going to throw their proposals out there, and they're going to deal with the community board and say what they want, and the community board's going to come back to us and saying, hey guys, there's a lot of rumblings, this is what people want. And then we're going to be like, okay, well, did you vet those things? And I'll be like, yeah, we did. I'll be like, okay, let's propose it. And it's not like we're proposing one thing to buy. When we do a proper proposal, it's going to be like, okay, these are the 5 things. It'll be a VeeFriends, a Bored Ape, a Punk, Flowers, and Dino, Dapper dinos. And whatever Snapchat decides, that's what we'll execute on. So influence, yes. Clearly, I'm sure people would love to hear what value Jeremy, Eric, Sven, and I have, and everyone else. But it's not really going to be an influence, because the proposal is the proposal, and the split board of recommending things is split down the middle.
Yeah, and all that being said, I do want to go to Traintastic soon because they've been super patient. But all that being said, inevitably there's going to be some degree of lobbying and politics that goes on in the server, and we just have to agree and do our best to keep that objective based and not personal. As let's say, for example, you, Indigo, lobby hard for us to sweep the Flower Girls floor and it gets denied, or Cohen and I and Eric and Sven all say, let's go buy something stupid, and then it gets denied. Inevitably, like, people are going to lobby for what they want to see happen, but at the end of the day, like, our power to make those decisions, beyond the fact that yes, we can at everyone if we want to get their attention, is going to be determined by our voting power.
For answering, I am yes, satisfied. I will be quiet so that other people can talk.
Thanks. Great questions. Really great question. Traintastic. Hi.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Cohen actually just answered pretty much my question. My question was about, like, how will things be basically proposed? Like, how will we come up with the items we're going to be voting on? But he already just answered that. But I do kind of want to piggyback off of what you were saying, Jeremy, about, I know, like, if you're not in the VeeFriends culture, I feel like a lot of people sometimes from as an outsider, they don't really understand potentially the value because they think it's just the VCon, right? And it's not just the VCon. There's so many other things. And we actually just had this conversation in the Dapper Dino Lounge last night about someone's like, what is it with these VFriend tokens? Like not a fan of the art. You know, they just go run down every little thing about it. And for me, it's kind of like the same moment you had. I just discovered Gary during the pandemic. So it was like a moment in time where it was like God said, you need to hear this. And it came on my timeline. I'd never seen Gary's content before. And it was just one of those like, holy crap. Like I needed to hear this right then and there. And I'm not as like all in as you are, because I know you have a lot going on with your blogs and your documentation of everything. But it was one of those moments where it just like hit my core and it shook me. And I needed it, and it literally changed my life. So I think until you have one of those moments, I don't think you can appreciate what a Gary V does for the world. So yeah. So I think that's I just wanted to, point that out, because taking those core values that he is telling you, and it's like you said, like he's not making me think, like he's not telling me what to think. He's shifting the way I view certain things and how grateful I am. Like you said, I've started to talk to older people. Like I work at our church, and we have a very seasoned congregation. And I actually take the time now to ask them questions, and just to see them light up, to have a younger person very intentional with listening to what they're saying. That's brought me more perspective, more gratitude in my life, just to see where they've come from, to see how good of a life I have had. And then I can now transition into, okay, what is my purpose now? So there's just those things. And it all started because of that one Instagram post that I saw from Gary. And I'm like, I need to know more about this man. So it's just one of those things. I think until you've had that moment, you won't get it. And you're just like, okay, like, all right, there's just those weird VFriend people. And, we've had a couple of California meetups. I'm in California. We've had some meetups and I get to the restaurant and the lady's like, what's the reservation? I tell her, and she's like, so do you know like where everyone is? I was like, no, it's my first time meeting these people. We met on the internet. And she like literally gave me this look like, oh, one of those groups. Okay, you're weird. And just like, I'll be back for you. So it's just one of those things where, but like we got like, well, I've been like had a brush of greatness, like just touched me, I feel like. And now I've had so many more connections that have now come from a simple Instagram post, that I'm now I'm seeing the world with a different set of glasses at this point. And I have a different way that I move. I don't let little things just irritate me as much anymore. I take advantage of the things that really mean the most to me. And to your points, like the I wish, that's what these older people do say. I wish I would have did A, B, C, and D. And I'm like, well, hell, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D, because if I get to 80 years old like you are, and you're saying the I wish, I want to be like, I did. I don't want the I wishes. So it's just one of those things. And even talking about it, I'm like getting all animated and I'm like waving my hands around. Like, it's just one of those things that you just feel it. And when you get around those like-minded people, like, I really do hope VCon is able to still happen with everything that is like going on right now with this next variant. And I know people have tweeted at Gary about it. I'm like, I need this to happen because I need to be in that room, in that stadium with other like-minded people, and just connecting and being able to see what else is out there, like with other people that I haven't got to meet that are in the same community as me. So I get it. It's kind of cult-like at some points, but I really do think until you've had that moment where it kind of just like, I remember I was sitting in my apartment, in my old apartment, and it just hit me. And I was like, okay, replay that again. And I just kept listening to it. And I'm just like, all right, you got it. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. You can't do this. So yeah, that's my piece. I know I've been rambling. I want to let someone else come, but I just wanted to just say, exactly what you said, Jeremy, about spending that time with your grandfather, and just, some people aren't going to get it. I want more V friends in, the vault. I will be for that. But again, it's good to hear that, you guys have already thought kind of that through. So yeah, I'm behind you guys, and I won't take up any more of your time.
Oh, I love what you said.
Not at all. That was gorgeous. Thank you so much. Sorry, CJ, go ahead. That was so much fun to hear. And it actually, go ahead, CJ.
No. I was just saying, I had the same moment. That's how I literally, your story is my story, just with a different wrapper on it. Like, that's how I got there. Just it's almost like a splash of cold water on your face, or someone that just slaps you and a switch just flicks. And it just resonates with you, and it's like you get that aha moment. And as she's saying it, like, I get it. That's what you either get it or you don't, and it's hard to get it unless you do. So I completely resonate with it. It resonates with me.
Thank you, guys. I'm gonna head back down to the audience.
I want to give a little alpha to everybody here about this project. And hopefully this will put some things in perspective for people. It's very obvious from our name, from the artwork sneak peeks you've seen, from who these founders are, that we've taken direct inspiration from VeeFriends. We have a lot to be thankful for and grateful for in Gary Vee, and we have put that into this project. But the alpha is that beyond the artwork, this project will take cues from VeeFriends forever. Maybe that's not going to land on some people right now, but as the space changes, VeeFriends will change, Gary will change, and we will be watching and taking cues. We can set up our own PLP project if we want. We can set up mini drops. We can do what we please.
Hey.
What? Too much?
No, I said we could DNA.
DNA. Yeah, we could do our own discover new artists. Like, we don't ever want to be in a situation where people could misunderstand that this is a copy of VeeFriends. And I think you only have to dig a little bit deeper to see that it's not. But on the surface, I can understand that sort of critique. But just to be clear, like, the alpha is the project will adapt and change alongside VeeFriends and improve and take notes from what I think we can agree Gary is at the forefront of, that zigging and zagging. Like, we will be taking cues from that, and we will incorporate the best into our project. Seneca, welcome back.
Hey, Jeremy, been listening along. Been really liking the conversations here. Maybe a little off topic, but so we're talking about Dow here, and me personally, Dow's been on my radar for maybe 2 or 3 months, and I've been doing as much research as I possibly can around it to learn, what it's all about. But it's a pretty complicated subject when you dive into it. Will you guys be able to provide, daily maybe tips and like resources to spread awareness about what a DAO really is?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you go to the top of the server in the information section, the last channel there is NFT 101, where we've already posted a couple of, at least one article about DAOs. But I'm also constantly creating blogs and content about the space, not always DAOs in specific, but whatever I'm learning, I try to create content about that. And yes, I think that by and large, education in Discord servers is a missed opportunity for so many projects.
I agree.
It's very common that whether you've been in the space for a year or just a couple of weeks, that people are hungry to learn and they don't know where to find those resources. So like if you go to NFT 101 right now, The first one is NF What, which was created by Droshik, who's a OG community member. Then there's the Dow explainer ahead of that, and there's a bunch of videos and stuff with useful content, but generally, like making that education available and then ideally rolling that into some execution or practice, I think is the best way to provide those resources.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just add a little complete side thing, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just finish this message. Varvon is actually minting the piece as we speak.
Nice.
She officially named it In Vino.
I love it. I love it. I did say I was going to roll this into a VFriends update at some point. We have been doing the AMA for about an hour, or actually a little more than an hour. So I do need to record a podcast. But if the room would rather continue talking about the project, I can leave and do the podcast on my own. What's the temperature? Do we have more questions? It's nice to see everybody up here. I'm going to take a little screenshot.
Jeremy, can you go to your DMs for a second, please?
Yeah.
It's also funny, Jeremy, that you said, we're going to be taking cues from Gary and the things that he does and the things that he's going to do. It's actually funny because the whole Spotlight Artist thing was you and I.
Yeah, we were
Gary
doing
ever
that
did.
months before DNA.
Absolutely.
For those who don't know what Eric is talking about, multitasking. Eric actually created the first ever VFriend giveaway that wasn't by Gary V, and he did it through selling 1,000 Knowing Gnome raffle tickets. And at the end, like, the whole conceit was buy a raffle ticket and get entered in to win this core Knowing Gnome. And I was one of the first people to find it. I actually purchased the second and the third of 1,000 tickets. And thank God I did, because I actually got a lucky phantom out of that. So, like, as soon as I found it, it was still very early. I didn't have nearly the reputation as a reliable source in VFriends that I do now. And I reached out to Eric and I was like, hey, would you come on the show and talk about this? Because this sounds really great, but how are we to know that you're actually going to give this VFriend away? Yada, yada, yada. And so Eric and I did a little chat and on live, and it was actually Eric's first time on a live stream. And we just talked through all the details of how it was going to work. And Eric decided not only to do the Knowing Gnome giveaway, but that at every 100 tickets sold, to give 5 people back the ETH that they spent on the ticket, which was like 0.007. It was like less than $20 at the time. And then he also decided to do NFT giveaways at each of those increments. And so what that became was a sort of weekly artist spotlight where whether it was Skelebits or Corso or Roman Punks or Lucky Phantom Bunch or Gemma with the Biscuits, who now does the V Women, the girl with the NFTs, week by week, Droshik, we would interview and spotlight an artist on a live stream. And then at the end, we would pull however many randomly generated numbers for people to get either their ETH refund or NFTs from that artist, most of which Eric actually purchased himself with funds that came in from the raffle. So it was like a really cool and relatively sustainable project, except for the fact that Eric had to do a shit ton of manual work for it, like inputting and transferring and all of that. But it was a huge success. And that's what he's referring to by like an artist spotlight. When it ended, we were discussing let's keep this artist spotlight going. And that didn't play out, but it's never too late.
It didn't play out yet, but we will have a platform through this
Mhm.
space to do that. I am sure.
Mhm.
And yes, it was a very time-consuming project. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, I remember. Oh man, that was so much fun.
It was a solid couple months of hardly any sleep and spreadsheets and buying things and getting in touch with artists and trying to schedule them for, you know, the actual call and get them all set up and ready to go. And
Yeah, and then we
No.
had the reunion show for the final giveaway. That was
Yeah.
wild.
yeah,
GQ, NFT, can you check your DMs, please?
I do want to mention for people that regrettably, or not regrettably, but in my life, I don't know how I'm saying, I'm not going to be around when the minting begins, which is just a matter of I had scheduled a friend and family dinner weeks ago, and it happens to overlap with the exact moment that we go live. So I'll be leaving around 8 o'clock and we go live at 8. But I will be back later tonight. I just want to say, because I won't be here, that to everybody who decides to submit this project, speaking for all of us, we're super grateful and excited. You know, I saw somebody in the chat suggest that, like, I just want to make sure this isn't a GoFundMe to sweep the VeeFriends floor. And I replied to them, it's closer to a GoFund us. You know, we really believe in the power of this technology. We really believe in the power of this community. And it may sound cliche saying it over and over again, but like, this can be built in the way that we design, within those legal frameworks and within some certain limitations. But like, there's so much on the table in value that we can provide to you as holders and to each other as a community, simply by deciding to, and having the leverage of the community assets that we hold and the ETH that we'll have on standby as opportunities arise is going to be an incredible vehicle to do that. So if you do mint tonight, it would be so wonderful to return to the server tonight and see people's PFPs with their blueberry. This blueberry is our mascot. And I know it looks a little bit like the Pepsi logo from a distance, but that was just a happy accident. As we said at the beginning, I don't expect anyone to mint this project. I keep my expectations low on purpose, but just looking practically at the response from the community, we are going to be minting a lot after 8 p.m. Will we be selling out tonight is anybody's guess. And whether or not we do, our objective, our roadmap, everything stays exactly the same. We just have a slightly smaller war chest to work from. And so we will continue to promote the project and get it in front of new eyes and serve you as the holders. But one of the untapped powers of a DAO is the social power. And so if you do mint tonight, please do change your PFP, even for a temporary time, tweet about it, share it with your friends, tell people this is going on, because nothing is better than a personal referral. You know, like, these AMAs are super great because I really feel like this builds our community. And in the coming week, especially if we haven't sold, I'll be doing daily Twitter spaces to talk about it. And there's a lot more to come. But at the end of the day, we're stronger together than I will ever be on my own. So please do change your PFP and tweet as you're minting. That would be super appreciated and will drive a lot of attention. Cohen, I'm reading your message, and I'm not sure what to write here.
Hold on, let me see. Is Mars up? Is Aiden here?
He left.
Oh, he's gone right What's up, B. Riley, number 5, number 5.
I mean, I feel like. Oh, by the way, I talked to B. Riley. And I think I mentioned to you already.
Yeah, you did. That's why I did the shout out.
Yeah. B. Riley, number 5. B. Riley, who's the diamond legendary lemur in the audience, minted number 5 of the collection, which, because 5 is Gary's favorite number, is a big deal. Okay, well, I'm going to kill some time to allow for more questions to arise. If they don't arise in the next 5 or 10 minutes, then I'm going to shift gears and do a update on the VFriend space and record a podcast. And in the meantime, I'm going to write a description for this NFT that Cohen has sent me. So, you don't want me to tell people? It'll be a surprise. Okay.
There was a lot of people asking in the voice chat to see the Dapper Dino artwork. Are we ready to share that, or is that going to be a surprise in the mint?
I don't mind if we share it, but Cohen may feel otherwise.
Kind of like the surprise, to be honest with you, but I mean, you kind of got to give the people what they want, right? TJ, thoughts? Before I full send?
I'm cool with it. I love the art. Why not share it? Give something people to hope for. I mean, I'm hoping I get one of those myself.
Crypto Goods goes, oh, the people want it. All right. The people what they want. Think they like it.
So, did I miss something? Are we posting this?
It's already up. People are talking about it in the voice chat.
Let me go there. Shout out, Curious Just.
Train-tastic just jumped on stage. I'm sure.
So my real question is, does this earn fossil? JK.
I don't think it does.
I mean, you'd have to ask Chris.
Oh man.
In all honesty,
how is this like a one of one, or is there going to be multiple of these?
No, there'll be multiple.
Oh, hell! I'm going to go mint more.
By the way, there's a lot of other cool pieces. As you saw, we had the POAP piece that we did in conjunction with POAP. We had the Drops piece.
There are quite a few other really good artists that have brought art into this project. So if you're excited about that, you're going to be excited about a lot of things.
Oh my god!
And correct me if I'm wrong, CJ. So we're going to have 5 of those, all with different border backgrounds, rarity-wise, or more.
Can you say that one more time?
How many of those total are we going to have in the actual?
We're doing that as we speak right now.
Okay. I will leave it at that.
And then another question that I kept seeing, do we have a reveal date? Like when reveal? That's what I keep.
Monday.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, Monday is the tentative date that we are aiming for. And if anything changes, there will be an announcement. So I have I'm just going to leave it.
the way, just to let you guys know, there's also a handful of actual community artists who also submitted for this project that I made a lot of great pieces that are also going to be in there. I'm really excited for those.
All right, I accidentally unclicked that by accident. Question about the artwork. Is it randomly generated to everybody? Like, even though I have 809, could I potentially get one of those dinos or no?
Yes.
Yes, everything's random.
The generation of the artwork is randomized at reveal, not at mint, but it's randomized by your serial number. So essentially, it's kind of a Schrodinger's cat. Like regardless of when you minted, the token ID that you hold would always get the randomized assignment of the metadata that will be determined at reveal.
So technically, we already know what we have. We just don't know.
No, it's the opposite.
Okay. Wow. Still kind of cool.
So like it's truly randomized. Like you guys don't know even what we have.
That's correct.
Sweet. I dig that.
Yeah,
We minted
because
our own
otherwise
tokens.
Yeah,
We don't
otherwise
know what we're
that wouldn't be fair because like I minted 5 of my own. If I knew what the metadata was going to be for a particular number, like it would be hard, you know, to do that, but you know, like to time what number you get depending on the volume, but just generally then I could know that there's like a better chance at minting a artwork in this range or whatever. Like none of that would be fair.
Yeah, I've been in a couple of projects where they're like, hey, this is when, and I'm like, oh, don't do that. That's just terrible.
Well, it's just the way that Jeremy made it sound was like 1 to 9,000 was all the word ones, and then 9,000 to 10,000 is the artwork. No.
Yeah. Sorry, I may have misspoke. I was just referring to within the 10,000 of the 10,000, 9,000 of them will be words, whereas 1,000.
Yeah,
it
makes more sense.
Yeah.
I just hope that I get a picture.
Well, your odds are 1 in 10. People who minted 10 have fair odds of getting at least
I only have 2
artwork. Well, then you have a 1 in 500 chance.
Anyone want to give me more ETH so I can do 8 more?
I actually spent all my ETH yesterday. There's actually some people in the community that I would have donated to had I not very impulsively spent my ETH yesterday.
Are you guys all set on artwork, or are you guys still accepting some submissions that could potentially get added in?
Potentially, you're talking about a very tight window. Like if you want to submit an artwork, we need to have it in like the next 12 to 24 hours.
All right, it wouldn't be me; it would be someone else. But yeah,
if you want to DM me, you can DM me. Yeah, I mean you have like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, me and Sven right now are back and forth. We're dealing with all.
I'm working for 16 hours now on this because I'm in European time, and it's past midnight here, and I will sit until tomorrow in the morning. So
where are you at, Sven?
Yeah.
Do you have something?
Where in Germany?
What's that?
Heidelberg.
Yeah. You could DM me if you want. You could DM me now or friend me now, and I'll have conversations with you now if you want.
Oh, Glenn, we've already been DMing. Come on, you know me.
Oh, Sparky, I know who's talking. I'm not even looking at my phone.
Yeah, man, come on. You hear my kid running around the back.
Did you get your thing out of the queue? I think yours was the one that was stuck there for like 14 hours, right, Jeremy? That was
I had one that I was trying to put one up for sale just for the hell of it, to put it up for 0.55 and see if someone would buy it. And obviously nobody did. But yeah, that thing was stuck for like 17 hours or whatever.
I love that we already have a secondary sale too. Like somebody's already, and it was a blue chip person that purchased on secondary too. Pretty sweet.
There's 2 purchases on secondary.
Cohen, check your DM.
I think the one bundle though was like a private sale to somebody that wasn't whitelisted. They had somebody else that was on the whitelist mint for them, and then sell them the bundle of 6 for 0.001.
Sparky, what's a golden bone? I don't know what that means. Oh, you're referring to the Dino. Got it.
Yeah, his head has got a golden bone in his head.
Yeah.
But take it in another connotation. Give me a golden bone? No?
I get it. So it looks like, so Saki, it wasn't pushed to Monday, Tuesday. It was always going to be Sunday or Monday. You're talking about the PO app. Yeah. So the PO app, let me actually just address the PO app really quick. I made an announcement about this. I wanted to have it out today or tomorrow, but then I got swamped with launch and other things. So just be patient with me. I'm planning to get it out on Monday, but it just depends. I have to send all of the addresses to PO app manually, and then I have to wait for them to return with a claim link. But when the PO app is available, there will be an announcement, and I will make sure the claim window is long, like a week or two, so that people have plenty of time to grab it. Cool. So I think with that's a good note to shift gears into a daily download. What do you guys think? I'm mostly asking the stage.
I'm good with it. And your giveaway for the PO apps just reminded me. I need to initiate day 7 of the 20 days of goat gifts.
Awesome. Okay,
maybe I'll do that right after mid.
I'm gonna keep y'all on stage with me for the stream. I'm just gonna open Anchor here. I didn't actually prepare notes, but I don't think there's too much going on that I'm not aware of. Let me just verify really quick. So for those of you who are unaware, I have a podcast called Jeremy Knows, which I started to really solve the problem of that I was giving all of the information I could crowdsource or gather about VeeFriends in Instagram Live format. And when you're watching Instagram Live, you can't multitask and do anything else. So if you want to listen to it, you can't do anything else on your phone. So I started a podcast and I started a Twitch. So I'm currently streaming this on my Twitch, which I was super active on and consistent for when it started, weekly nights. But then my schedule changed, and I have yet to find a new schedule. But it is like high priority for me. I'm actually just sort of sharing with you more of my process. I've actually set aside mornings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 12 for office hours for the VeeFriends community, where I'm typically responding to DMs and answering questions anyway. But I thought I could do like video calls with people and sort of try to do some of that, scaling the unscalable. And I'm wanting to get in a more consistent rhythm of doing daily downloads on Monday and Friday, and then doing the weekly on Wednesday. So if like something happens over the weekend, like I can react to that, but otherwise you can know that it's going to be on the podcast Monday. Right now, I sort of just do it as needed, but just FYI. And you know what? Let me share the podcast with you all. So the podcast, I'm putting it in the voice channels chat. Dan Fay, a PO app for the DAO has not happened. It would be really great to have a PO app for the public mint. Can we pull that off, Sven? I know you're like super swamped, but maybe there's another artist that you're comfortable letting take that on, or we could even just mint the reveal image. We could just give it like a border and use the blueberry reveal or pre-reveal image as a PO app. I think people would really love that. And what we could do is we could just take all of the addresses that are whitelisted for my POAP and just whitelist them for both. And so anybody who didn't get on that one can do both.
We'd also be able to take all the wallet addresses from holders.
Yeah, and we'll whitelist all holders. That's actually a
we
great
could do
idea.
a separate POAP for holders.
I can do the poll tomorrow or on Monday if it's.
Oh, Sven, you sound like you've been working for 16 hours. Yeah, we can. Yeah. I think that's good. Yeah, don't worry about doing it before. Yeah, right. We can. Can I get a consensus from the admin? Like this, we can make this happen, right? And we can do it after reveal, or maybe after the artwork's done, we can get it to happen during reveal for the POAP.
We can and will make just about anything happen.
Great. So we'll do 2, maybe 3 POAPs. We'll do the one that I'm already doing, that if you put your wallet in wallet addresses, you're going to get, or you're going to be eligible for. Then we'll whitelist all those same addresses for a mint day POAP, or a public mint POAP, or we'll figure out the title, but it'll be sort of spanning the last couple days and the next couple days. And then once, maybe we'll say 24 hours or 48 hours after the public mint, we'll whitelist all holder addresses for a special holder only POAP.
Jeremy, Eric, check your DM. I don't know if you want to share this, but you could probably share this with everybody.
Okay. Stooney says they're an artist. Can I connect Stooney to one of you two?
Yeah, you could connect them with me.
I love this. Oh my god, I love this.
I thought you would.
I
thought you would.
this. Okay, I'm dropping it in the voice channels text. And Stooney, please DM CJ Cohen, and he will confer with you about the POAP.
And it's in the vault.
So check out this link I just dropped, which is now in the vault and created by Vara, who the creator of Flower Girls.
She, by the way, she just mentioned to me she's actually sending it to Gary also right now.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yo, that is dope as fuck.
Well, it's not really a 1 of 1 then, is it? That's okay.
Oh, she's sending him the link.
Oh, nice. I know, it's got huge Dolly vibes, right? Dolly.
I'm just happy it's holding a wine glass.
Yeah, it's so good. So
it's a big ass wine glass.
What was that?
It's a big ass wine glass.
Yeah. Okay, I need to record this podcast because I also have to shower and do dishes and all sorts of shit. So, let me just gather myself for a second. Things that are going on in the VeeFriend space today. We've got book games. We've got Gary V retweets. We've got Gift Goat enters Creature World at a 2.5 floor. We've got what was the name of that winery? Robert Mondavi Winery. Robert Mondavi Winery. Empathy Elephant Wine is shipping. Actually arriving. What else? VeeDao is minting. What else? Diamond, Common Sense, Cow, sells for 39 ETH. And there was another, oh, it was a core offense-oriented orangutan that sold for like 30. What else? What else? What else? What else? Return to the source. What's up, Gary V? Cockroach. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, by the way. Oh, the floor on those mini drops are going up. People are listening to Gary. Couple, wow, few sales at, oh yeah, people are sweeping that shit. Huh. Price is going up. Okay, back to it. Book games is good. Oh yeah. Did everybody see that Gary sent $100 to somebody in the Discord to help them get a new phone?
Yes.
Oh, and 1217, right. Yeah, cool. All right. Ready, set, record. Welcome back to the show, my friends. This is the Jeremy Knows Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy. Thank you so much for returning to the show. Here's a preview of what I'm going to break down for you today. We've got a small book games update. Gary V is retweeting a bunch of book giveaways, giving exposure to the community as he's silently in the Discord, like really pumping the VeeFriends mini drops first gift go collaboration with Creature World. Some speculation there. There's a whitelist opportunity for VeeFriends holders with a wine NFT as people are receiving their Empathy Elephant wine. Sales continue to pick up momentum. And we talk about the brand collaboration that is happening on 12/17. And in the background, my project with KCCO Eric and CJ Cohen, VeeDao, is just 1 hour away from public mint. Very exciting day. Welcome back. It's December 11th, 2021. I'm your host, Jeremy, the Heart Trooper number 7. Let's fucking go. So I realized that was actually a fantastic intro and 99% of what you want to know, but I'll try to give you some details. So if you missed it, Gary is doing 2 Go giveaways over the course of December for people who have an excess of his 12.5 books and are giving them away to his community or their community through libraries, schools, foster shelters, chambers of commerce, whatever it is you want to do. The most creative and effective means for giving these away that can get Gary's attention will receive an epic Gary originally owned VeeFriend. I actually got a reply from him today in the Discord asking if the first of these was going to come from the retweets he's been doing over the last 72 hours, or if we should expect a more specific announcement about how to participate in that giveaway, and his answer was time will show. So if you want to make a play at that Go giveaway, be active on Twitter, be giving away these books, be loud about it now. He suggested that he would give one away at the beginning of the month, which is now mid-month, so probably soon, and one at the end of the month between Christmas and New Year's. So it seems like he's already scouting who's doing a really good job in that regard. Sort of leaning into books a little bit, Book Games is coming. We do have a date range to expect the airdrops between December 23rd and January 9th. As a quick refresher, Book Games is the name of the VeeFriends branded collection with a supply surpassing 100,000 that people were able to open mint by pre-ordering 12 of Gary Vee's latest book, 12 and a half, leveraging emotional ingredients for business success. So this is highly anticipated. It's going to be a gamified collection on a layer 2. Although he hasn't come out to say it so specifically, I'm pretty sure this is going to drop on the Immutable X platform and be traded through tokentrove.com, because he's been sharing in the Discord that we need to learn that platform. We expect that there will be some kind of burning mechanism, and like my best hot take is that somehow, some way, whether through burning or collecting or something, that a VeeFriends one is actually on the table, with hints like you can turn back time, you can stack the tokens to create whatever you want, and literally saying you can make anything with Book Games if you play right. It seems like that there is going to be a go out there, whether you need 15 tokens or 50 or 500 tokens, we don't know, but it makes sense that Gary would create a gamified platform, burning mechanism, combination event to reduce the supply, which relative to other contemporary collections is very, very high. That being said, there's going to be a lot of short-term strategy and long-term strategy, because games are meant to be played forever. And I had this aha recently that there must be more than one game. And it sounds very obvious considering it's called Book Games, but I'm really wondering when this is released, at the end of December, is it going to be one game that we play up front, or will they release a suite of 5 games that you can participate in? And how frequently will they release these games? All of this, and how many different character cards there will be. Will each of the 13 ingredients in the book have a character card? Will there be characters beyond that? What will the rarity be? All of that is still shrouded in mystery and will be revealed at the time of the drop, or maybe shortly before. And to keep up with it beyond the podcast and the content, I do have a blog post which is linked in my bio if you want to catch up. Gary told us this week to connect our wallet to VeeFriends.com, as that will make it easier to claim your tokens. So I actually spoke to May New today, and she's working on the coordination of all that. So it'll be very clear and centralized when the time to claim those tokens comes. It will be an airdrop, so we're not expecting to pay gas to claim those tokens, but just be aware that that is coming in the coming weeks. I will certainly do a step-by-step tutorial on how to claim, and connecting your wallet to VeeFriends.com will make the process easier. If you have already previously connected to VeeFriends, you don't have to worry about it. It's just really important that you set up your profile, go so far as to connect your email, change your profile picture, connect your Twitter, whatever you want to do in that regard. But it's going to, the airdrop is going to happen through that platform. So especially if you haven't connected before, please do that. Moving forward, we have an opportunity for gift goat holders. I'm sorry, not gift goat, for VeeFriend holders in the Robert Mondavi Winery NFT. So this was emailed to VeeFriend holders and those who participated in the Empathy Elephant Cabernet Sauvignon drop. It's not exactly clear to me what's going on with this collection, but they did email a PDF with information about how to reserve your spot on the whitelist, and VeeFriends are able to purchase starting tomorrow, December 12th, ahead of the public sale on December 15th. The collection size is 1,900 and the purchase price is around 0.8 Ethereum. So it's certainly an expensive bottle of wine, but it's tied to a customized bottle. and I haven't seen what the long-term plan for this is, long-term utility, but they seem to have good backing. It was put out by Empathy Wines. I'm sure there's been some conversations with Gary V. So if you're into wine, seems like an interesting opportunity. Go do your research. It's nft.robertmondaviwinery.com, or you should have an email with the information. If you can't find it, just send me a DM and I can link you to it. I think for most people, this is probably going to be a little pricey for a wine NFT, but for the right audience, this is a great opportunity. Just small correction, the supply is actually 1,966. And that public mint, if you don't want to get in on pre-sale, will be December 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Speaking of wine, the Elephant Cabernet Sauvignon from Empathy Wines in collaboration with VeeFriends was a huge success. They sold out on Cyber Monday, and many people have been receiving their wine. I actually promised you guys a wine tasting, and with the launch of VeeDao, I sort of got backed up on that, but I do have about 1 glass left in the bottle and will be doing a wine tasting soon. I can tell you right now, it's a super fruit-forward, full-bodied wine. I sipped on my first glass for like 3 hours. It was so delicious. And I actually didn't do what Gary said and like let it air out for 45 minutes or more before tasting it. And so I actually took my first sniff and taste around 15 minutes in. And during that first hour, I could actively smell and taste the flavor opening up and the profile changing. So it's a very complex wine. I actually purchased also Gary's 11/11 deal from WineTex and got a Cabernet Sauvignon in that mix. So I'll be doing a compare and contrast. It's funny. I said this in my live stream. Once I tasted the Empathy Elephant wine, I realized that I didn't have actually a counterpoint to compare it to. Like, I've never had a $200 Napa Valley Cab Sav before, but having a sip of this other Cab Sav that I got from WineTex, which is probably, $40 or something, $30, it's very clear sort of the experience of a high quality wine. Some of that is probably projected because I wanted it to be good. I'm a big VeeFriends maxi now. No, but I'm a big VeeFriends advocate. So it'll be interesting. If you've had the wine, please let me know. As always, continue the conversation with me on Twitter at JeremyKnowsVF or on Instagram at WannaBeAVFriend. Ultimately, the podcast is really fun, but it needs to get better as we go along. I really appreciate the people who have come into my DMs or posted publicly that they love the podcast. I'm always looking for critical feedback as well, wanting to make this as catered to you, the listeners, as I possibly can. So in wrapping up, let's talk about the market a little bit. The Diamond Common Sense Cow sold today for 39 ETH. And just a couple days ago, the core, so we're talking about spec at 39 ETH, versus the core offense-oriented orangutan sold for 30 ETH. So although we haven't seen a rollout of how these characters will play into different collabs between VeeFriends and other companies, character is mattering in a really big way. We saw Patient Panda selling for 50, Lucky Black Cat selling for 30 at the core level, while specs, the floor is I think below 20, but yet this Common Sense Cow sold for double the floor. Similarly, Gary shouted out purchases of the Conviction Cockroach and the Dynamic Dinosaur as really good buys. In fact, someone bought the Dynamic Dinosaur and he congratulated them on the pickup. Gary actually saw the listing for Conviction Cockroach and said, please, whoever this is, please reconsider or raise your price. You're going to regret this. Considering that conviction is one of the 13 ingredients in Gary's new book, stands to reason that that character is going to play a big role. If I'm not mistaken, there's another conviction character, but it's not coming to me off the top of my head. Also in the market, we have a new VeeFriends mini drop. So a week ago, the Gift Goats received their first gift. It was a Creature World VeeFriends collaboration where they received a physical poster of an artwork by Danny Cole and in collaboration with Gary called Gift Goat Enters Creature World. And it depicts a few of Danny's creature characters and the gift goat, and they received physical signed copies by Danny and Gary. Each gift goat also received a single NFT version, animated stop motion version of that artwork. And the market has been super active, selling for as low as I think 1.6, 1.7, now with a floor up to 3 ETH. A lot of volume being traded, some people collecting all 5 colors of it. And interestingly, Gary has been pushing this to the Discord. It's funny because he's like, if you can afford this, buy this, but also don't spend your version 2 VFriend money. So a bit contradictory there, but it makes me feel like there's something he knows that we don't. And of course, there is plenty that he knows that we don't in regard to the main collection. But I wonder if this token has unannounced utility, if there is a benefit to having the entire rainbow of the collection, and ultimately what the medium and long-term plan is between Gary and Danny about extrapolating this story of the gift goat entering Creature World. If you're not familiar with Creature World, it's a popular project. Depending on who you talk to, would be considered a blue chip, a very fervent community, had a really successful turnout at NFT NYC. But maybe more importantly, they are on the precipice of releasing their second series of NFTs, and the community is very bullish on them. And I think the wider NFT community is also very bullish. So it'll be interesting to see how that might play out into that collection. Last but not least, we are anticipating a brand collaboration announcement on 12/17. That's in less than a week, 6 days from now. We don't know what the brand is, what the context is, or what the offering is, but these are the clues so far. It's not an NFT. It will make Gary's childhood self very, very happy, and will need a little bit of ETH to buy it, but it's not for token holders only. It's open to everyone. So this one's kind of thrown me for a loop. I'm not sure if there has been any clues about what this is. As we know, Gary likes to keep a lot of these announcements close to his chest. Actually, I want to give you guys a sneak peek. I just remembered, this isn't in my notes, but Gary's been talking about V-conference speakers, that they are out of control, and that if people knew the 13 speakers that he already had confirmed, that it would blow their minds. I actually know for certain who 2 of the speakers are, and I'm going to share them with you now. So it is confirmed by Tom Bilyeu himself in a call in the Impact Theory Discord that he is speaking at VCon. He didn't say what he's speaking on, and nobody should really be surprised by this, since Tom Bilyeu is one of the first to be represented by Vayner speakers, and he has made a decisive pivot into being known more for NFTs and has put out a decade-long roadmap for his play in the space. But that being said, it was very fun to have someone in an AMA ask him if he's speaking at VCon. He confirmed, not knowing if he was allowed to say so, but he is confirmed to speak at VCon. The second, which hasn't been widely announced but has been widely speculated, is Beeple. So again, not a huge surprise, I think, for anybody who's following this story. But during NFT NYC, I overheard someone ask, and Beeple answered that he will be speaking at VCon. So excited about that. I know that there's been a little chatter in the Gift Goat chat about, is Beeple going to do one of these 18 NFT collaborations that Gary is curating for them? One of the users commented, is there going to be a Beeple collab? Just give me an eyes emoji if it's true. And Gary did return with an eyes emoji. I shared this on my Instagram. In my opinion, that's not enough to confirm a collaboration. But if you look at their relationship, look at the fact that 1:37 p.m. was in the room during the Beeple auction, was aware of Beeple before he had his mainstream acclaim from the Christie's auction, and just the relationship that Beeple seems to have with Gary and his network, now also confirming that he's speaking at VCon, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe not this year, but eventually there is a Beeple NFT that is released as a gift to gift goat holders. So there's a little alpha for everybody to enjoy. That's only 2 of the 13 speakers that Gary has said are confirmed, and I'm sure he's confirming more every week. So I don't anticipate we'll get the full list of speakers before the end of the year, but Gary did say sometime in the second half of December that he would be releasing that speaker list. So that's the VeeFriends news. The last thing to share with you is that in exactly 1 hour at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, December 11th, the VeeDao will open for public minting at veedao.io. You'll find the link to the Discord in my bio. I know I haven't talked at length about the project on this podcast, mainly because I want to just provide value in terms of what you're expecting here, talking about VeeFriends news, opportunities in the NFT space. But the fact is, this is an opportunity in the NFT space. Eric, CJ, and I have been super thoughtful, not just about this being a high quality art offering, but that as these NFTs will be governance over the community vault, that we will be building out a robust ecosystem of access and utility for holders. And I couldn't be more proud, more excited, and humbled by the people who have already minted in the pre-sale. So thank you to everybody. I'm really excited. There's a lot of surprises to come, and we intend to be the first to do a proper floor sweep of the VeeFriends project within the next several days. And it's surreal, to be completely honest with you. I'm so excited about it. In fact, in a FaceTime call that we were able to have, the 3 of us with Gary V, he said, if we do this and if it's big enough, that he'll actually have us on his podcast. So sooner than later, you might be hearing this voice on the Gary V audio experience, not on Jeremy Knows. So if you want to be a part of that community, it's free to be part of the community. Just join the Discord. We'd love to have you. If you want to be a holder in the project, it mints tonight at 8 p.m., 0.05 per mint. All the details about the artwork, the utility, the roadmap, the surprises, and things that have yet to be revealed are in the server. And we've got a wonderful moderator team that will help direct you if you need it. And on that note, I will thank you again, as always, for listening. I want to give a super special thank you to Eddie, Charlie, Curious Just, Moby.eth, Dushan V, Luna M, The Greek NYC, Droshik, and E, who have contributed money to our tip jar and helped to make it possible for me to create this content. If you want to support the content I'm making about VeeFriends, I have a tip jar in the bio link, and there are different perks for people if you want to do that on a monthly membership basis. Lastly, my gratitude to you always for your attention. My name is Jeremy. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7. This has been another daily download from Saturday, December 11th at the Jeremy Knows podcast. And I will see you tomorrow. Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm still going to stay in hand like I always do.
You what? What'd you say?
You're done with your show?
Yeah.
I'm going to still stay here and hang and just hang with people.
Yeah, I'm going to hang for just a little bit longer. Just probably long enough for me to post this podcast and check my DMs, but then I'll have to go.
I'm still here too, going to hang out. I do have some good information that the Queen of Clubhouse will also be on stage.
Oh, really? Awesome. She's coming into Discord?
No, not on this stage. On the V conference stage.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Hey, Eric, I have somebody who's having trouble getting into the VeeDao Discord. What should I just direct them to you, or
what is the name? Sorry,
Sunny. So NNY.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what, Eric? We also need to make an announcement that whitelist minting has stopped.
I don't see that person at the gates.
Okay, let me see.
They may have worked their way in by doing the verification. Oh no, there is. Never mind.
Good. Oh, I love it when Gary comes in and just drops a thing. Oh yeah, somebody listed a very rare for 9.5. It's gone. That is a consideration I've had. Is like like timing is very critical in a sweep, right? That's why we want to be able to do this in the near future because V-Friends are well priced, but then there's also moments where like you could do a floor sweep and pick up very rares for 12 ETH, and then there you have it. There's one for 10 had you just waited a day. You know, it's gonna be interesting, that timing. Yep, I knew there was gonna be somebody. Alexander waited till the last second for his pre-mint. So, oh yeah.
Jeremy, hey guys. On that note, like if there are deals like that, is there a way that we could vote as a DAO that there's like codified certain rules per proposal that anytime if we've got a certain amount of ETH in the treasury and we see certain criteria very rare at a certain price, we scoop it up automatically, like without a vote? Is there a way to do that? Like how can we think about those opportunities where you have to act fast and like a traditional vote would probably take a while?
So I can answer that if that's okay. So I'm actually already personally having a bidding bot created, which I'm probably going to share with the DAO. And I've already had preliminary conversations with Jeremy, Eric, and Sven about it, where we wanted to do a proposal where, for instance, let's say there's 100 ETH in the vault. We would do a vote that the DAO would give us permission to, let's say, set aside 50 ETH that we would turn into WETH or WETH, and that we would be able to make constant offers at like 50% of floor value or offer value on all tokens that are out there. And then it would automatically, somebody would obviously accept it or would get triggered, and then we'd be able to constantly just be acquiring great value deals that's there. So that's along the lines of things that we were thinking, but I think that's along the lines of something that is in your wheelhouse of what you're describing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if we had a bot and just had those things codified, I think that would make a lot of sense, that we could find deals and take advantage of that versus just sweeping the floor at what people are currently offering.
Yeah.
Well, sweep I think is more of a monumental or
it's more of a statement.
Yeah. It's more of a one-time thing to be a moment, and everything is going to be like literally way more strategic. Does anybody else want to come up here? If they have, please raise your hand. We want to bring you up here. If anybody has any questions on projects they're working on and they want to talk about it, we did this last time. There we go. We want to bring people up. If you guys have stuff to say, come up, ask questions. If you have personal things you guys are going through that you need help that we could answer, we're a community here. We want to be able to do that. So here's the floor, and there's people listening. What up? What up?
Before we go there, just before I step out, can we touch base about the minting really quick? So, the whitelist minting is closed now. We're shutting it down for an hour. Do we need I don't want to change up on people. There's just like a few people on the whitelist who waited to the last minute, and like I'm wondering if we need it closed or if we can just transition straight from whitelist to public mint, or
We'll just send an announcement out and let everybody know please do not mint till past 8 o'clock. Please do not mint past 8 o'clock. So there's no people losing gas, people making errors. Just please do not mint till 8 o'clock. Clear, simple.
Yeah, actually the minting button just disappeared, so they're not able to mint.
Awesome.
Like if you go to the website now, it's just not there. Let me check.
I love how we have more people working with us.
Yeah, it's just not there.
So problem solved. What's up, Traintastic, Universe?
Hey,
Forest?
Universidad NFT, what's up, bro?
How's everyone doing?
Doing good. I just had a question. I know you said like projects, I just want to know, did anyone else get in on Recur by chance? And thoughts, perspectives?
I purchased a handful. I'll be completely honest. I didn't do a ton of research. I saw the IPs that they had available, and I was like, oh, and also, Gary co-signed it. And I was like, yeah, this is probably a winner. And then I saw that they sold something like 50,000 mints during that 24 hours, but their collections are not going to be that big. Their collections are going to be like 10K and smaller, I think. So I'm not sure. Somebody was saying that perhaps the color of your Recur Pass after reveal will indicate which mints you're able to get on, and that's how they'll avoid like crazy gas wars between the holders. But I'm super bullish on, like, I want a Godfather NFT and a Star Trek NFT and a Rugrats NFT. So I bought 5 so that I can hopefully sell 1 or 2 to cover my investment.
But you said you're selling me one of yours, right? Because I obviously didn't have a chance to get one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Make sure we do the transaction before the reveal. Wink, wink.
Okay, but if it's the rare,
I see you, Jeremy. I see you.
We'll see.
I love it. And then also, second thing, just because we know we've had this collab already with Stapleverse. Anyone on allow list? Has everyone that is a VeeFriends holder done their due diligence to go and actually sign up on the website to make sure they get into that raffle if they don't have that persuasive or perspective pigeon?
I forgot about that. So isn't there a way to, if you're a VeeFriends holder, aren't you part of like a special raffle list?
Yeah, so there's a raffle that's going on. You do need to connect to the website that was dropped in the VeeFriends. I believe it was in the VeeFriends Discord. I was already in it before. Shout out to Truth. He gave us the alpha, and I literally was like for 2 days just watching because we broke the bot basically, and we were just at the gate, literally waiting for the team to figure out how to let us all in. But yeah, you do need to sign up on the website. It's then going to send you a link to your email. Once you've clicked that link to your email, it links your email. You then will need to connect your wallet. It will connect your wallet. And then after you've connected your wallet, you do have to connect Discord. So it is a little bit of a lengthy process, but it is kind of their way to try to make sure everyone's human that's actually, joining in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was able to get in on the mirror .xyz drop that he did. I bought 2 of them. So I do have my spot secured on allow list because it was super stealth the way that he dropped the little article. So looks very, promising. And there's a couple of other ways, but it's still very early. So yeah, but if you are a VeeFriend holder, don't miss out on that because we already know there's just endless opportunities.
Yeah, that's
What was
really
this
good.
for? Sorry, I think I've missed.
This is for
Stapleverse.
Stapleverse.
For Jeff Staple.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
I
think
definitely
I'm
missed
gonna
that.
log off and quickly record this into the podcast, so that people know about it, because this is definitely a limited time thing. This is a cool one. Like Jeff Staple, I think really knows what's up.
Yeah, and then like also they had, I know for a little while during like the Black Friday sale, so like that was another way to potentially get into a raffle. So yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff going on right now in that Discord. But yeah, it is a little bit of a, like I said, a 3-step process to verify yourself, but that is the way to get onto that, into the raffle, is with those 3 steps that I just mentioned.
I have a question just about the mint night.
Shoot.
I guess so. I know I have enough for 1, but I'm just kind of like debating like whether I go for 2 or a bit more. I'm just kind of trying to figure out, like I'm new to this Dow thing, and so I had done some research, but I'm really just wondering like what kind of return. I know you guys don't have like all the details, and it's still a thing of process, but like what would you expect for someone that just holds 1 versus holding 2 or more?
Is the question about a financial return?
I guess, or just like the benefits of holding 1 or more.
Is it on the token itself? Like as if you
Yeah.
buy, like if you buy the art. So, I mean, if you're looking at it a perspective where it's just like any other art piece, where you buy an art piece,
Yeah.
and if the supply and if people love it so much, and you get quote unquote a rarity or something that people get connected to emotionally, they will pay more than you paid for the item. If people aren't interested in the item, then they're not going to pay you. So it's more like the people will decide the market value of what something is worth.
Okay, so then how does that tie into the DAO then? So is it like also paired as a token to the DAO, or how does that work?
Yeah, so this is a good point of clarification, that like regardless of the rarity of your token is worth 1 vote. And the thing to know about multiple tokens is more chances at different tokens, right? Different rarities, different art pieces, and you get an extra vote in the DAO.
Okay, so you just kind of have a bit more say. So you say you had 10 tokens, you'd have like more of a say in the operation of the DAO than you would if you just had 1. Is that kind of the thought?
That's right.
I wouldn't use the word operation of the DAO. It would more be on voting. So
suggestions,
meaning if you own 10% of the tokens, and a suggestion comes up, you have a lot of weight on this, especially if a lot of people are not voting. You could ultimately end up deciding what ends up happening by the amount of tokens that you have.
Okay.
It's just like any publicly traded company, so to speak, but obviously not that.
Yeah, that's a good way to kind of break it down.
And I think
the other question. Oh, sorry.
As we unfold, there's going to be reason to hold multiple tokens.
Yeah. Okay,
folks, I'm gonna dip out. Have a great time. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll post the recording of this chat. Probably not before I leave, but I'll post it as soon as I can.
Thanks, Jay.
Adios.
Cool.
Hey folks, quick edit before I send you to the rest of the podcast. I forgot to mention that Jeff Staple is releasing a project called Stapleverse. And if you are a perspective pigeon or a persuasive pigeon holder, then you're automatically put on the allow list for whatever pre-sale they have for the project. Now, I haven't done really any research into what the project is or what the Stapleverse is going to be, but I want to alert you that he's giving benefits to VFriend holders. If you're a VFriend holder that isn't a pigeon, you still get an sort of priority access, a possibility to be on the allow list. So go to Stapleverse on Twitter, get into their Discord, go to their stapleverse.xyz, and they have a multiple step authentication to make sure they're not getting bots for this moment. But you'll need to sign up, connect your wallet, and connect your Discord. And they will scan if you have a VFriend token, or I think they're also doing it for 888 Inner Circle and maybe a couple others, but for sure for VFriends, they put you into a raffle to get the allow list. So it doesn't hurt to give it a shot, especially if you're going to get a pre-sale. Someone with as large a following as Jeff Staple is likely to be building a long-term project, and you might want to know. So that's that. Enjoy the podcast. You okay, baby?
Yeah, you're almost done.
I'm done now. I just finished. Yeah. I had a parfait.
Did you see I had bagel stuff out?
Oh shit! I meant to finish it.
The bag was open. How'd you finish it?
I meant to make a bagel and eat because I saw the fish was out. Hi, buddy. We went to the park though.
That's fantastic.
Didn't
oh my
we?
God, he is so fucking.
We had a good time at the PARK. We liked the PARK. Didn't we, Rocky? Did we get muddy because it was a bit rainy? Did we? Oh, I forgot. So I ended my. Bye, everybody.
Jesus.